Shows ours?
Yep.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Jewett. I'm the Senior Vice President of Corporate Development for Bally's Corporation. Welcome to Bally's Golf Links at Ferry Point. We're excited to host you, and as I imagine many of you, this is your first time physically being on site. I know many of you have probably hundreds of times driven by, so happy to orient you to where we are. So starting off with a satellite view, you can see depicted where you're sitting today is the presentation location on the screen. The red outlined area represents the 222-acre site, which we control under license agreement with New York City Parks to operate the golf course. Outlined in green is the approximately 16.5-acre development site where we are proposing the gaming facility would be constructed. And then the yellow area is where the new clubhouse would be located, which is on existing and remaining New York City parkland. That clubhouse is essentially a replacement in kind in terms of size and scope of what is there today. We'll take you through that at the end. Relative to this site, it's ideal for multiple reasons. As you experience coming in, number one, the site has incredible access from major thoroughfares into and around the city, including two bridges, which each have annually 40 million passengers, with the Whitestone and the Throgs Neck just to the north, as well as close access to LaGuardia Airport, which is this year going to do about 35 million passengers. Additionally, I think it's important to note that you intentionally have to come to this site in order to visit, in terms of getting here from the local neighborhoods or from the highway, and we're not in anyone's backyard. Our neighbors are the highway. You got the river, the cemetery, and the golf course. So just to touch upon some parkland improvements, we've worked closely with key stakeholders over the last 2 years throughout this process, including our key elected officials, our Community Advisory Committee, and New York City Parks to fine tune. Through our Community Advisory Committee process, we were asked to focus all of the improvements on Ferry Point Park, which is what we've done. You can see all the parkland improvement projects. They're a mix of complete overhauls of existing areas and refurbishments, as well as new creations, which I'll touch upon real quickly. One of them, new creation, is this new pathway underneath the Whitestone Bridge, which essentially connects for pedestrians or bike users the east and west side of the park, which doesn't exist today, even under the Whitestone Bridge if you're driving. As of last week, we finalized all these improvements and the required scope, and those are included in our conveyance agreement with New York City Parks, which will be submitted today. And I asked the commission if it's okay. I actually have a full copy of the exhibit with all the scopes of work. If you'd like, I can hand out a copy, or you'll see that electronically later today. I'm going to pass the baton to Andrew Powell with Gensler to walk us through the project program.
Hi everybody, good to see you. So I think the building can be broken down pretty easily into like 3 chunks. So there's the north chunk that you can see up top there, which is the largest piece, which has the parking deck and casino in it, and also the theater. The south chunk has the more parking. It also has a spa and some meeting space. And in between it is this curved hotel band. So just to kind of break down the square footages, the casino itself is about 556,000 square feet, and that includes the casino and the food and beverage that's associated with that on the ground level. Above that, and in combination with the south part of the parking, there's about 4,600 spaces total. 2/3 of those spaces are on the north chunk. And as you see the hotel sort of makes its way around and grabs into the north chunk, there's about 500 keys, and it's broken down into the typical sort of room arrangements between king and queen and suites, as you might imagine. On the south side, there is a spa, a large spa. There's a meeting space. It's a rather large spa, about 30,000 square feet. A pretty healthy collection of meeting rooms. You can see in the orange right there. And just making its way through the program, not listed here really, but within the casino there's a bunch of restaurants and there's a bunch of different lounge spaces. Yeah, I think that's it. So the venue itself, just as to sort of end on, is a 2,000 seat theater. I think next we're going to have some transportation discussion with.
You could arrow down through the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so far I forgot about the rendering. So here's a good shot of looking, an aerial shot looking back at 18th hole, and you can see the signature hotel piece right here. This is the 2/3 of the parking is here, casino at the bottom, parking over here with spa and meeting space at the top. This is looking back at that bridge element, hotel space, hotel here, and again casino on the right on the ground floor, parking on both sides, and spa above. And finally, looking as you're coming off the Whitestone going northbound, looking back towards the hotel primarily, but the facility in general. So we're going to talk about transportation now.
Yes. Good morning. I'm Wahid Albert. I'm a senior vice president with AECOM, working on behalf of the Bally's team. My major involvement will be building a bridge across the over the Hutch that's going to oops, wrong direction. That's the location of it up north next to Lafayette Avenue Bridge. This is really what it looks like down here as a quick sketch and rendering on the south end of the Lafayette Bridge, and the, it has to be built to New York State Department of Transportation standards, and also some of the requirements of New York City DOT standards. And the reason that is obviously AASHTO requirements defers to the states for responsibility of bridge building. And I am a former chief engineer of New York State DOT. I spent 37 years on working for DOT on the design and building of bridges. And I've done over 500 bridges on my resume, so I know how to design them and build them, and according to New York State standards and requirements. It's a single span bridge that's going over the Hutchinson River Parkway, which is also an interstate, and that federal government owns, and the state maintain and operate for them. The bridge will be steel and on concrete abutments supports.
So, I'm sorry, can I ask that?
Sure.
So the idea is there will be a ramp off the Hutch that then, and this will divert,
Yeah.
this will move traffic from the ramp?
No, there's service roads that you see there. Currently, there's service roads northbound and southbound that connected to Lafayette Avenue, and down here they connect to the Hutch. So this is an added, as a mitigation for traffic increase that will be caused by building the casino. There's additional traffic, and we're building this bridge to mitigate those traffic volumes that have increased traffic volumes. So there'll be 2 lanes of traffic. There will be a traffic signal at this end here.
I'm assuming the bus came from the west, is that correct? Came from,
Yes.
sorry. So I think, just to help orientate everyone, you came in probably on 678. You essentially got off the highway right around here.
Yeah.
You saw the Pepsi facility, then on the left side, you saw the MTA building.
Yeah.
Then you got into the parkway. As soon as it gets down to 1.5, 2 lanes, that's where the existing parkway starts at Schley Avenue. So you essentially loop around. I've got another slide, so I'm glad I put this in the appendix. You essentially came off the highway right where this orange area starts.
Yes.
You looped all the way around and entered the site right here.
Correct.
You essentially are then exiting the site in a similar manner, just going out, heading towards the ramp that Wahid is talking about. You can either enter 678 and get on the highway. If you're going east, you essentially loop around the overpass, or if you want to come back to this area or go to any of the services on the west side of the park or any of the businesses, you could also use that overpass. Or you can go all the way up to Lafayette, which is right where the overpass is, just south of it, and enter various areas of the Bronx.
So if you're coming from the north, you can either cross the new bridge that you're gonna build or continue to go down around and loop as we did today?
No, from, this is one way, from the north, this is one way down. This bridge is one way looping this way. So if you're coming from the north, there is, obviously you'll be on the Hutch.
I'm
And,
coming, I'm
and you
coming
take
south on the
exit
Hutch.
18. You can take exit 18 and get that loop that Chris just
Yeah,
showed
so
you.
if you're coming south on the Hutch and you get off on the ring road, the ring road is always one way.
Okay.
So you always have to loop around.
Okay.
The overpass is meant to essentially make it so you never have to go onto a city street. Also expanding capacity as we're, widening the roadway and alleviating some of the issues that are on Lafayette Avenue today.
Yeah, and so it's really primarily for this traffic going north to loop around and go in the other direction.
So today there's 2 traffic signals, one right here to turn left, and this is an improved view. Note, there's not really 2 left turn lanes today, there's only 1. So today there is some challenges with making 2 left turns to come around. This is meant to alleviate all that, to essentially create a full loop whereby you don't have to go to traffic signals on Lafayette.
And in a way, you're doubling the capacity of traffic. Making that left.
So I think we actually covered, besides a couple of renderings, that covers our presentation. We're open for Q&A. I do have a couple of folks that I do want to introduce in the back row that did not have a speaking part. We'll start with Nick.
Hi. Nick Tomasino, Senior Vice President, Development and Construction. Looking forward to constructing a world-class venue here in the Bronx.
Art.
Art Alzamora, Langen Engineering, we're a civil engineer, environmental, geotechnical, and land planning.
Max.
Max Young, also from Langen Engineering. I oversaw writing the environmental impact statement and all of the engineering and technical issues.
And Brian.
Brian Kroll, I'm the general manager here at Bally's Golf Links at Ferry Point. Happy to have you all here and excited to lead a little tour. I wish it was warmer, but we'll get out there and get a look at the land a little bit as well.
Thanks. Yes.
I'm still want to understand some of the traffic flows. This is a very congested area, particularly getting across the bridge.
Yep.
And so if somebody could just walk us through ingress and egress.
Sure.
And how people and how cars are going to get in and get out of here. And also curious about public transportation, bus stops, how employees are going to get here. So if you could spend just a minute or 2,
Sure.
that'd be great.
So I'll cover a few things. I'll ask Andrew maybe to cover once you actually get in the gate into the site for site circulation. And kind of the proposed areas for the MTA stop on site. We are proposing a stop on the west side of the park, essentially likely somewhere across from where that paved parking lot is, where they do the park and ride for the ferry. So taking a step back, if you're coming over the Whitestone Bridge to come to the site, you essentially come down, you get off of 678 and you jump off essentially right where, on the right side of the screen, onto that orange roadway. You get off right after it ends, where the parkland ends, and you start to come up the roadway here at the end of the golf course, right next to the cemetery. So today, you would go all the way up to this light at Lafayette, and you make 2 lefts at each of these signals to come back towards the golf course. You stay on this is a service road on both sides, Hutchinson River Parkway. Come all the way down past, this is a Target, this is a Pepsi plant, Pepsi bottling, and then this is a bus depot. Come all the way down that roadway, essentially back into the park. The park again starts at Schley Avenue, and that's probably just due west of where I'm standing today. You go through the park, underneath the bridge, and come into the site right after the bridge.
So if you're coming over the bridge to get here today, you have to go up through the ring and come around down the other side.
Correct. Correct. And instead of, in the future, instead of going over Lafayette, hitting those 2 lights and making 2 lefts, you essentially would go over the new overpass. So today then you would enter essentially right here, the development site. The proposed MTA stop is somewhere around here. We haven't definitively located it, but we have a commitment in our environmental impact studies. You've got the ferry, which is somewhere down here. The 2 bus stops, and we currently run a shuttle through the Bronx. We're gonna expand that so that we can hit the subway, which is less than, I think about 0.6 miles from here. Andrew, do you wanna talk about a little bit about site circulation once you enter?
Yeah, sure. So
I
once
know we
you're-
don't have a view of it, but.
Yeah, I'll do my best to describe it. Once you get outside, after you come under the bridge, there will be 4 lanes that'll take you around and into the drop-off area, which is on the north side of the site, or the north side of the building rather. And those 4 lanes will turn into 5, so you have a 5-lane drop-off essentially that's covered. Then you can come around and you can go up into the north deck, or you can go back down into, or you can go to the south deck as well as you're coming into that right under the bridge. So we're trying to manage the traffic flow as soon as you get onto the site proper, right? There's also the clubhouse there, which we haven't talked about, but that has about 200 or around 300 car garage. That's also accessible right on the other side of that drop off. So we're trying to manage the up and the down and the around in that little drop off knuckle. It's actually working pretty well from an efficiency standpoint with a fairly small footprint being used for it. I know we don't have an image, but yeah, like all of that's sort of managed on the north side.
I believe in one of the exhibits, we have a reference to this. If it's easier, we can follow up with that exact exhibit reference from the architect.
Yeah, I think there's vehicular circulation shown in the packages that we sent. Yeah, there
This here, yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, okay, so you come in here, well, no, that's the bus.
Yeah, so like on the ground level here,
Yeah.
after you come under the bridge, you can go down to the south deck.
Uh-huh.
You continue on and you get dropped off. This is the main drop off. So sorry, everybody, I'm pointing to the drop off that's north side of the building. This is where the 5 lanes are. And then the green arrow is points to ingress. So going into the deck and up. Or you can go into the clubhouse deck, which is right here. And the clubhouse is right there. So everything's managed on the north side of the site very generally. And then you egress back out, going up the ring road north to get back onto the back.
So you can drop off passengers here, or
Correct.
you can enter
Or you
the
can enter the
garage.
deck, yeah, exactly.
And then, what do you do, go up in the,
Yeah, you go up
Where we
into the,
did
up
thing?
into the
Into the
levels of the
garage.
deck. You can see it pretty well right here, right? So that, the green wall is covering the parking deck.
so what's the thinking about having the parking on top? So it's on top of the casino, so you go up to the garage and then you have to go down.
Correct.
By elevators or?
Yeah, yeah, you have vertical circulation throughout the parking deck, so you make your way back down into the casino area. We want the casino on the ground floor.
Because,
For views out to the river, you have a direct adjacency to the 18th hole. It adds the sort of interest that we're looking for with respect to sort of the activity on the ground level.
Access to the hotel lobby area, you've got that view when you come in the porte cochere, you can see right out to the water.
Yeah, I mean, when you come into the main lobby, there's a view right out to the river. To the left is the casino, and it wouldn't have worked nearly as well if the casino wasn't there. It just provides that level of activity that we're looking for along the ground floor. All the F&B venues are there, hotel check-in, as Chris said, so it's all sort of the centralized amount of activity. And yeah, they push the parking deck out.
but the casino stretches some distance, so.
It does. From-
How many different places can you come down from the parking, or do you have to?
I don't know the number of vertical circulation points. We'll flag those and point it out to you so you can see how we're circulating around the building specifically. That'd be an easy diagram to make.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
There's 2 new proposed MTA stops,
Correct.
one over by the park and then one on site.
Correct.
And you'll show us when we're out on the tour.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
You referenced private shuttles, are they part of the ongoing plan as well, or the buses are in lieu of the shuttles?
No, the shuttles are in addition to busing. We realize that a good majority or a good portion of our workforce is not going to be driving. So they will be taking public transportation. May not be from the ferry, may not be from the bus, may be through the subway. And you know, from a timing standpoint, bus from subway isn't that efficient to that location unless that bus line changes, you know, depending on, we're not sure which bus line are going to service these two sites today, but we are committed to providing shuttles, not only for customers, but also employees.
So I'm sorry, the shuttle will go to which subway stop?
It's not listed on this site, I have to get you the exact stop, it's about 0.6 miles to the west and north. We can put it on a diagram for you.
Is it a shared shuttle,
In terms of shared,
employee and customer, or separate shuttles?
that's a good question, we haven't deciphered that. Maybe just a public shuttle.
Any other questions or concerns before we head outside?
Bundle up.